Every time someone says Battlefield 4 was the peak, I genuinely don't argue. Because they're right. For what it was and when it hit. Battlefield 4 wasn't perfect. It was chaotic, buggy, and brutal at launch. But it did improve, and it improved pretty fast. Ten years later, Battlefield 6 is faster, cleaner, shinier. But under that neon, players keep asking one thing. Does it still feel like Battlefield? Because what makes Battlefield Battlefield isn't how it looks, it's how it plays. Battlefield 4 dropped October 29, 2013, back when shooters were still raw meat. I remember standing at a midnight GameStop launch, 38 years old, waiting for the cashier to yell "Go!" so we could grab our copies. And then the chaos began. Crashes, connection errors, and that infamous netcode, the one where you die behind cover because what you saw and what the game registered were not the same. Sometimes matches ended in total server collapses. You'd lose your progress right after a win. It took months to feel playable and nearly 2 years to feel finished. It was a sandbox for chaos. Not just gameplay, but infrastructure. But when the dust settled, Battlefield 4 became the model. The game didn't just recover, it peaked. It became the definition of Battlefield. Now, enter Battlefield 6. Same logo lineage, same legacy, different species. Faster gunplay, tighter field of view, shorter loops. Everything engineered for modern attention spans. EA, DICE, and Battlefield Studios didn't forget Battlefield, they re-engineered it. They studied Call of Duty's dominance, TikTok speed expectations, and decided, we need Battlefield to move. Faster reloads, shorter respawns, smaller zones. It's not laziness, it's business. More minutes played, fewer breaks between dopamine hits. That's how shooters survive now. But that same evolution split the community. The modern player gained convenience, the veteran lost atmosphere. Let's be fair. Progress isn't betrayal. Games evolve. Battlefield always did. Destructibility, scale, weather, squads. Each generation pushed something new. After Battlefield 5 and 2042's stumble, EA and DICE faced an identity crisis. They made the call. Tighten the pacing, compress the maps, attract the Warzone crowd. But the soul of Battlefield lives in 4 things, and 3 of them still matter more than ever. 1. Scale and space. In Battlefield, you weren't a hero, you were just a soldier. Maps were big enough to make you feel small. Hangar 21 had ceilings built for rockets. That sense of insignificance was immersion. Battlefield 6 flirts with it again. The new RedSec Battle Royale map surprised me a little bit. Massive scale for a BR, wide breathing room, and that fire ring, not just spectacle, it burns at near real speed. You feel it closing in like a real blaze, tension without the suffocation though. That's Battlefield's pacing. Space, but with urgency. 2. Objective play. Battlefield 4 didn't need highlight clips, it needed commitment. Conquest, rush, obliteration. Objective play that was the highlight reel. In Battlefield 6, DICE nailed the gun feel but still wrestles with purpose. The scoreboard tells you the truth. I've seen players rank second with no kills because they revived, captured, and supported. Meanwhile, a 10-kill streak heroes finish mid-table. That's Battlefield's heart. Teamwork still wins the war. Don't believe me? Check the scoreboard next time you play and read why they're in the position they landed at the end of the match. 3. Destruction over decoration. 2042 forgot this. It built playgrounds for content creators instead of combatants. Battlefield 4's world didn't look polished, it collapsed beautifully. Every falling tower forced adaptation. Battlefield 6 still carries that code, but it's too careful. Let the walls fall again. Let chaos write the story. Watching new players panic when a wall caves in reminds me of Siege of Shanghai, when destruction meant fear and strategy. According to DICE producer David Serlin, though, faster movement and slide mechanics were intentional, a pivot towards Call of Duty-style reflex play. Business-wise, it tracks. Legacy-wise, it's risky. From a business angle, RedSec is a smart move, free-to-play, longer ring burn, slower closure. It competes with Warzone without copy and pasting it. That's the balance point. Evolve without erasing yourself. Let's be honest, I'm not 38 anymore. I didn't have 8 hours to grind mastery trees back then. I logged in to play the game. And yet, when I play Battlefield 6, I still see the ghosts of peak Battlefield 4. In design, in potential, and how the gameplay feels. A lot of what you see online now is noise. Call of Duty versus Battlefield debates, streamer drama, dopamine clips. That's not the heartbeat this franchise needs to remember. We're not begging for nostalgia, we're asking for density. A game that respects space, scale, and player intelligence. Battlefield 6 moves faster, sure. DICE wants to compete. But competition shouldn't erase identity. Battlefield shouldn't chase Call of Duty or Fortnite. It should be the antidote to them. When I play Battlefield 6, I see the scaffolding of something better. Destructibility is restrained, but alive. The class system's back, even if the spawn beacon swap kinda raised my eyebrow. Portal's framework hints at deeper community creation again. Under the live service gloss, the old pulse still flickers. We just have to keep reminding DICE why that pulse matters. I'm not saying Battlefield 6 should be Battlefield 4, but it could remember what made Battlefield 4 timeless, not by copying it, but by evolving with purpose. The blueprint's intact, it just needs a little oxygen. Battlefield doesn't have to be faster than Call of Duty, it needs to be smarter. Reward thought, not twitch. That's the opportunity. Not nostalgia, not imitation, just filtering evolution. Battlefield 6 isn't lost, it's just unfinished. If DICE and EA listen not just to the market, but to the legacy, they could bring something that outlasts Warzone entirely. Will Battlefield 6 ever feel like peak Battlefield 4? Probably not, and that's okay. Because what we really want isn't replication, it's restoration. If Battlefield 6 doubles down on scale, strategy, and destruction, not flash and friction, it earns its legacy. If upcoming updates refocus on objective play and map breathing room, Battlefield 6 stops being a competitor and becomes a continuation. Nostalgia isn't weakness, it's a benchmark. And that Battlefield dads, veterans, and tactical minds, we're not asking for the past. We're asking for permanence. Something that still feels like Battlefield, not performance art. Until then, you play like you mean it. Demand substance over spectacle. Remind EA evolution isn't erasure. Battlefield 6 can still feel like Battlefield 4 if we make sure it remembers why it mattered. Because the Battlefield isn't just a game. It's the mindset. I hope you enjoyed this video. Before you bounce, though, this channel highlights a cause for our military veterans each month. November's focus is MSGA, Military Support Groups of America. Info's in the description below. Please take a moment to check them out, share, or support however you can. Until the next one, out.
Down machine